Hey, my name is Brooker. I'm a product engineer on the growth team at PostHog, and today I want to show you how you could use the PostHog MCP in V0. I've been using the PostHog MCP on a bunch of different clients now, both at work and on personal projects, and it reduces the amount of times that I have to context switch out of my client into the PostHog UI. As much as I love the PostHog dashboard, I would much rather just keep building and shipping things in my AI client and bring that PostHog context and manage the PostHog data directly from there. So I'm going to show you how we can do that today, mostly focusing on feature flags and experiments, but you could also use it for error tracking, logging, LLM analytics, lots of other things listed on the PostHog MCP docs. So to get started, I went ahead and built a little platformer called Hog Hop, and I think it's pretty cool. But once I get past level 1, I have these bugs, and currently I don't have a way to get rid of the bugs. So I want to experiment with some different methods of getting rid of the bugs. So I want to experiment and see, let's add lasers and stomping. So stomping is kind of the classic jump on top of them. I want to add both of those and compare how my users perform when they're using either of those. So it's a classic kind of A/B test, but I want to be able to track how people are performing and using the product across both of those cohorts. So let's write up a prompt for that. First, I'm going to get started just by adding an MCP to my V0 agent, and I'm just going to click PostHog here. That's going to load up the PostHog config. We'll use OAuth to authorize this. I can choose my access here. We give it kind of the preset MCP access. Click authorize, and I'm all set in here. So now we're just going to ask V0 to set up our project with PostHog. I put together a prompt here on the V0 integration guide just to help get started, but feel free to read that over and update it for your specific use case. One thing to note here is that I'm using the Vercel managed PostHog environment variables with the Vercel integration. If you're not using that, you could use the MCP to grab the project API key and the PostHog host URL. Awesome. So it looks like it wired up PostHog to the layout. So let's check this real quick. So I'm going to run a little experiment. We'll just refresh it in here. We'll jump around a little bit and just make sure that we're streaming data. That bug is a real in the way. There we go. All right, so let's ask the PostHog MCP. Let me make sure I enable it here. Yep, enabled. All right, it found the tools that it wants to use, and it's asking permissions. So I'm just going to say always accept. I published the app, and when I use it in the published version, I'm able to see some events coming through. So let's go ahead and implement the weapons, for lack of a better name. So we'll create a multivariant experiment. So we're going to have two variants. One is laser and one is stomp, and they'll both be triggered by the spacebar. And then I prompted it to add custom events for when users kill bugs, advance levels, start the game, die, and when they complete the game. Then we'll use those for success metrics to measure how useful each of these weapons are. Got some lasers. Let's test it out. This is working pretty well. See how far I can get. All right, it's kind of a fun game. Let's see how we did with the stomp. I'm gonna ask if we can you experiment to target my user and set them to stomp, just so we can test it. All right, it found the distinct ID using tool calls, and then it targeted my user to stomp. Still giving me the laser, so I'm gonna troubleshoot that a little bit. Okay, cool. Fixed it. One prompt. This is totally not what I meant, so I'm gonna update the stomp. It added a feature so that when I jump, I can hit space, and then it makes it stop. So let's update that real quick. Got the stomp working, so now pretty much what I would expect. Now we'll ask chat how our experiment's going. So is the stomp performing better or the laser? So I just asked, check the experiment, what's performing better? And it gave us an experiment summary. So 2 users had the laser, 1 had stomp, and then we can see how they're performing across the different metrics that we put. So based on this, and I played it a few times, I think I'm gonna pick the laser. So let's just have the agent complete the experiment and remove the code for the stomp. I hope you found this useful. You can use the PostHog MCP for, in addition to feature flags and experiments, you could use it to query the errors. So you could get stack traces from errors, get relevant events. You could also build insights, dashboards, search events, search logs, LLM analytics. There are lots of good tools in there. Also, feel free to request any additional tools that you're missing. Thanks.